Aaron's days were a steady rhythm of responsibility and love. Each morning, before the sun fully climbed, he'd already be up, making sure Lily's breakfast was ready and her school bag packed. He was a single dad, and every choice he made, every extra shift he took as a security guard was for his bright-eyed daughter, Lily. Their small apartment, though modest, was always filled with the warmth of their laughter and the scent of the simple meals Aaron cooked with care. Lily, with her quick smile and even quicker mind, was the center of Aaron's world. He loved watching her draw colorful pictures and listening to her stories about school. Being a security guard meant long hours, often through the night, but Aaron never complained. He patrolled the quiet halls of the office building, his thoughts drifting to Lily, imagining her sleeping peacefully, dreaming of adventures. He knew he wasn't rich, but he made sure Lily felt like the richest girl in the world in love and attention. He'd often leave little notes in her lunchbox, telling her how proud he was of her, or reminding her to have a wonderful day. These small gestures were his way of being there, even when his job kept him away. He worked tirelessly, his uniform a symbol of his dedication, not just to his job, but to the precious life he was raising. One afternoon, as Aaron was stirring a pot of pasta for dinner, Lily burst through the door, her face glowing with an excitement he hadn't seen in a while. She waved a crumpled paper in her hand, practically dancing as she spoke. "Dad. Guess what? My class is going on a field trip. We're going to the big science museum with all the cool dinosaur bones and the space room." Her words tumbled out like water from a faucet, each one bubbling with pure joy. Aaron smiled, happy to see her so thrilled. "That sounds amazing, sweet pea, tell me all about it." He took the paper from her, his eyes scanning the colorful flyers and cheerful drawings. But as he read the details, his smile slowly faded. The cost of the trip, clearly written at the bottom, felt like a heavy stone dropping into his stomach. It wasn't just the ticket. There were lunch costs, a special bus fee, and even a little extra for a souvenir if she wanted one. He quickly calculated in his head, mentally subtracting from his meager savings, the money he'd set aside for a new pair of shoes Lily desperately needed. It just wasn't there. His heart sank, a familiar ache of helplessness washing over him. How could he tell her no? How could he dim that bright light in her eyes? He forced a brave smile, trying to hide the knot forming in his throat. "Wow, Lily, that sounds like a truly special trip," he said, trying to keep his voice steady. "We'll have to look at this more closely after dinner." But even as he spoke, he knew the truth. He couldn't afford it. Over dinner, the conversation about the science museum trip was quiet, unlike Lily's usual chatter. Aaron tried to explain gently that the trip was a bit expensive right now. He watched as Lily's bright eyes, which had just sparkled with dinosaur dreams, slowly dimmed. A tiny sigh escaped her lips, almost too soft to hear, but then she quickly brightened, forcing a brave smile. "Oh, that's okay, Dad. It's just a trip," she said, trying to sound cheerful. "We can look at pictures of dinosaurs in books instead. That's almost the same, right?" Aaron knew her too well. He saw the flicker of disappointment she tried so hard to hide. Lily was a smart girl, and she understood their situation more than he wished she did. She always tried to be strong for him, to ease his worries. But Aaron could feel her unspoken sadness, a little cloud that had settled over their usually happy dinner table. He wished he could wave a magic wand and make the money appear, just to keep that spark in her eyes. Later, as he tucked her into bed, she hugged him extra tight. "Good night, Dad," she whispered, her voice a little softer than usual. He kissed her forehead, his heart aching. He knew she was putting on a brave face, but he could almost hear the tiny sniffles she held back after he closed her door. He felt terrible, wishing he could give her everything. The next day at school, Ms. Evans, Lily's teacher, noticed a change in her usually bubbly student. Lily, who was usually the first to raise her hand with an excited question, sat quietly, her gaze fixed on her desk. When the other children chattered excitedly about the upcoming science museum trip, Lily just nodded faintly, a small, sad smile playing on her lips. Ms. Evans, a kind woman with gentle eyes and a deep understanding of children, felt a familiar tug in her heart. She'd seen that look before, the brave face a child puts on when they're trying to hide a big hurt. After class, as the other children bustled out, Ms. Evans walked over to Lily's desk. "Lily, is everything all right?" she asked softly, her voice warm and inviting. Lily looked up, startled, then quickly looked away. "Yes, Ms. Evans," she mumbled, her voice barely a whisper. "Everything's fine." But her shoulders were slumped, and her small fingers picked at a loose thread on her sweater. Ms. Evans didn't push. She simply said, "Well, if you ever need to talk, I'm here to listen." She watched Lily walk out, her steps a little slower than usual. Ms. Evans had a strong feeling it had something to do with the class trip. She knew how much the children looked forward to it, and how easily a child's joy could be dampened by things beyond their control. She made a mental note to look into it. Lily's quiet sadness was a clear sign that something important was wrong. After watching Lily leave school with that quiet sadness, Ms. Evans couldn't shake the feeling. She remembered the school's policy on helping students in need, but she also knew sometimes the process could be slow or families might be too proud to ask. She thought of Lily's bright spirit, usually so full of life, and the idea of her missing out on such a wonderful learning experience just didn't sit right. Ms. Evans decided to take matters into her own hands. She found the school secretary, Mrs. Davison, who handled all the trip payments. "Mrs. Davison," Ms. Evans began, "I'd like to pay for Lily's class trip. Please put it down as an anonymous donation or a partial scholarship from the school's fund. I don't want her or her family to know it came from me." Mrs. Davison, who had also noticed Lily's quietness, smiled warmly, understanding completely. "Of course, Ms. Evans, it will be handled discreetly. What a kind thing to do." Ms. Evans felt a wave of relief wash over her. It wasn't about getting thanks, it was about seeing Lily's smile return, about giving her the chance to explore the world of dinosaurs and space with her friends. She imagined Lily's excitement when she found out, and that thought alone made her heart feel lighter. She knew this small act would make a big difference in Lily's young life. A few days later, a special note came home with Lily. It wasn't a bill or a reminder. It was a brightly colored paper announcing that Lily had received a School Explorer scholarship for the Science Museum trip. The note explained that a kind donor had made it possible for a few students to go who might not otherwise have the chance. Lily's eyes widened as she read it, and then her face burst into the biggest smile Erin had seen in days. "Dad, look," she shouted, waving the paper with even more excitement than before. "I can go, I got a scholarship." "Isn't that amazing?" Erin took the paper, his own eyes scanning the words. A school scholarship. He felt a wave of confusion, then a profound sense of relief. Someone had helped. He didn't know who, but he felt a huge weight lift from his shoulders. He knelt down and hugged Lily tightly. "That's wonderful, sweet pea. Absolutely wonderful. I'm so proud of you." Lily bounced around the living room, singing a little happy song about dinosaurs and spaceships. Her quiet sadness was gone, replaced by pure, bubbling joy. She truly believed she had earned this chance, a special gift from her school. Erin watched her, a grateful smile on his face, feeling thankful for the unknown helper who had brought back his daughter's sparkling light. He didn't question it too much, simply soaking in Lily's happiness. A few days after Lily's scholarship news, Erin received a phone call from an unfamiliar number. It was Ms. Evans. His heart did a little flutter of worry. Teachers usually only called with problems. "Hello, Mr. Clark," she said, her voice warm and kind. "This is Ms. Evans, Lily's teacher. I just wanted to call and chat about Lily and also about something else." Aaron braced himself, expecting to hear about a forgotten homework assignment or perhaps a small issue at school, but Ms. Evans didn't mention any problems. Instead, she spoke about Lily's bright spirit and how much she enjoyed having her in class. Then her voice softened. "Mr. Clark," she continued, "I also wanted to tell you how much I admire you as a father. Lily talks about you all the time, about your stories, the notes you leave her, and how hard you work. It's clear she feels incredibly loved and secure. That's a truly wonderful thing to see." Aaron was stunned. He hadn't expected praise, especially not from a teacher. He usually felt invisible, just another working parent trying his best. To hear someone notice, someone actually see asterisk his efforts, filled him with a quiet, humble pride. "Thank you, Ms. Evans," he managed to say, a little choked up. That means a lot to me." He felt a surprising connection to this kind voice on the other end of the line after the phone call with Ms. Evans. Aaron found himself thinking about her often. Her words of praise, so unexpected and sincere, had settled deep in his heart. Most people saw him as the quiet security guard, the single dad doing his best. But Ms. Evans had seen beyond that. She had seen the love and effort he poured into Lily's life. It wasn't just her kind words that stayed with him, but the warmth in her voice, the genuine care he heard when she spoke about Lily. He started to see Ms. Evans in a new light, not just as his daughter's teacher, but as a truly kind and understanding person. He remembered her gentle eyes from school events, always watching over her students with a thoughtful expression. He even wondered briefly if she might have been the kind donor for Lily's scholarship, though he quickly dismissed the thought. It seemed too generous. Still, the idea lingered. Her call wasn't just a polite gesture. It felt like a hand reaching out, a sign that someone understood the quiet struggles and triumphs of being a parent. It was comforting, a warm feeling in his often solitary world. He felt a newfound respect for her, a sense of gratitude that went beyond simple politeness. This was a person who truly cared, and that was rare and precious. After that phone call, a quiet change began. Aaron found himself calling Ms. Evans more often than just for parent-teacher conferences. Sometimes it was a quick question about Lily's homework, or to let her know if Lily had a slight sniffle and might be a little quiet that day. Ms. Evans, in turn, would call him with updates, sharing little stories about Lily's triumphs in class or how she helped a friend. Their conversations were easy and natural, always centered around Lily's well-being and happiness. They became a team, working together to make sure Lily felt supported and cherished at school. Aaron would mention Lily's newfound interest in constellations after reading a book, and Ms. Evans would find a way to weave it into a science lesson. If Lily seemed a little shy about a new project, Ms. Evans would gently encourage her, and Aaron would reinforce that encouragement at home. It wasn't just about grades. It was about nurturing Lily's spirit. Through these talks, Aaron learned about Ms. Evans's thoughtful nature and her genuine love for teaching, and Ms. Evans learned more about Aaron's quiet strength and his unwavering devotion. Their conversations, initially about school matters, slowly started to drift to other topics, little glimpses into their lives beyond Lily. They were building a bridge of understanding, brick by careful brick, all for the happiness of one special little girl. The joy Aaron and Ms. Evans found in helping Lily truly shine was a wonderful thing. Each time Lily came home with a beaming report about school or shared an exciting detail about a lesson Ms. Evans had made special, Aaron felt a deep happiness. He knew a part of that joy came from the silent partnership he now shared with Ms. Evans. They would sometimes exchange quick smiles when Lily enthusiastically described something they had quietly arranged together, like a book about space, added to the classroom library after Aaron mentioned Lily's fascination with planets. Their easy conversations had grown into something more than just parent-teacher updates. They started talking about their own days, sharing small stories or observations. Ms. Evans learned about the quiet beauty of Aaron's night shifts, the unique peace of a sleeping city. Aaron, in turn, learned about the challenges and rewards of teaching, and Ms. Evans's passion for helping every child feel seen. They discovered they shared a similar gentle humor and a deep-seated belief in kindness. A warm, comfortable friendship began to blossom between them. It was a friendship built on shared care for Lily, but also on the quiet understanding that grew between two good people who appreciated each other's genuine hearts. They hadn't planned it, but their shared mission for Lily's happiness had softly, sweetly led them to each other. As weeks turned into months, the easy friendship between Aaron and Ms. Evans grew deeper, like a quiet stream becoming a gentle river. They found themselves looking forward to their calls, to the chance to share a laugh or a small worry. Aaron realized he was starting to think about Ms. Evans not just as Lily's teacher or a kind friend, but as someone special. He admired her intelligence, her caring heart, and the way her eyes crinkled when she smiled. The quiet comfort he felt talking to her was something he hadn't experienced in a very long time. Ms. Evans, too, felt a change. Aaron's steady kindness, his devotion to Lily, and his quiet strength had truly impressed her. She found herself smiling at her phone when his name popped up, and she often caught herself thinking about him during her day. It wasn't just friendship anymore, there was a soft flutter in her heart whenever she thought of him. One evening, after a particularly long and enjoyable phone call, Aaron hung up and found himself sighing, a contented feeling spreading through him. He looked at a photo of Lily on the fridge, then thought of Ms. Evans, and a clear, warm realization washed over him. He cared for her deeply, and he had a strong feeling she cared for him too. It was a beautiful, surprising discovery, blooming from their shared love for Lily. The realization of their deeper feelings brought a new, gentle rhythm to Aaron and Ms. Evans's interactions. It wasn't rushed or dramatic, but a quiet unfolding, like the first blossoms of spring. One sunny afternoon, after a school play where Lily had proudly performed, Aaron found Ms. Evans by the door. "She was wonderful, wasn't she?" he said, a proud smile on his face. Ms. Evans smiled back, her eyes sparkling. "Absolutely, you've done such a remarkable job with her, Aaron." He took a deep breath. "You know," he began, I think I know who the School Explorer Scholarship came from. Ms. Evans's cheeks flushed a soft pink, but she met his gaze. "Lily deserved to go," she simply said, her voice gentle. Aaron reached out, taking her hand. "And you deserve thanks for your kindness, for seeing Lily and for seeing me." Their fingers intertwined, a silent promise passing between them. Lily, skipping past, noticed them holding hands and giggled. "Are you two going to be friends forever?" she asked innocently. Aaron and Ms. Evans exchanged a warm look, a shared future gleaming in their eyes. "Even better than friends, sweet pea," Aaron said, squeezing Ms. Evans's hand. Their story, born from a small sadness and a quiet act of kindness, had grown into the promise of a loving future, built on the solid ground of their shared devotion to Lily and a deep, gentle love for each other.